Mr. Sunit Tandon, of course, is a very popular figure and you've seen him on television, you've seen him on stage, seen him all over. And I really want to thank him for being here this evening. I just asked him once and he agreed to come and read the entire temple for me. So I am very honored he's reading my poetry this evening, just after I do mine. And I would like to say that I can think of no one else who can do this better than him. He has a unique and an inimitable style of reading.
And of course, what does one say about Sanjula? I've been associated with her earlier when she asked me to read some years ago. And it was a very beautiful experience. And this time she asked me, so I said, okay, I'll read for 10 minutes or so, a few excerpts if you wish. But she has said, why don't you read the whole of the temple? I said, won't it be too long? So she says, no, it's not a very long poem, but it is connected, and to excerpt it might be not doing it justice. And I agree. Now that I've read it, I do agree that perhaps the whole thing needs to be read. So I hope, since you are all poetry lovers, that you will enjoy Sanjula's very deeply personal and deeply felt poetry. Thank you very much. I'll just start off. I think you'll be seeing the stanzas as they come up over there as well, so you can even follow them on the screen as we go. The Temple. Lone earthen idol on a muddy base, no dome above, just vast open space. Smell of incense, the sweet sound of bells. This, my earliest memory of a blessed place. Hands folded in prayer, I stood in line, strangely calmed by temple chimes. An elderly priest chanted the holy word. Never had I heard incantation so fine. Only 5 summers had I seen till then. Tugging at my mother's sari with serious mien, I asked, will God listen to what I say? Try him. He'll always be your friend. Timelessness is all I recall of one day as I stood atop a hill and surveyed a pristine structure that stood alone, silently urging me to pray. Through winding, hilly roads I often drove. One day chanced upon a sacred abode upon a verdant hill, covered in Darjeeling mist, a little Godhead that blessings bestowed. In the open fields, amidst the green, tall, nean, yellow harvest sheen, from the moving train I did glimpse a rustic temple, simple and serene. In this little bloom, the sun, that tree, I see God's wondrous mystery, all around His grace in nature's space. Everywhere a temple is what I see. This place of worship has an open door, for hearts ever gay or filled with woe, sinner, saint, king, and the common man, no entry barred for friend or foe. No tether here, nor finishing line, time's never up for prayers divine. Enter when you like, leave at your will, mercy all pervading at this shrine. No judgment here, no final knell, no accusations, nor sad farewell. Here a just order prevails, a kindly bench, a jury swell. No theirs, nor yours or mine, no scramble for rights in line, a place for all to stand in prayer. No toll here, no tax nor fine. In the quiet sanctum, there is room for all, the young, the old, the mighty who fall. Who knows who stood here before me? Nameless devotee on a spiritual call. Open thy doors wide, oh, so wide that humanity forgets its own divide of color, caste, creed, and race, and into your portals with dignity stride. Feeling mortal, I enter the shrine. A few moments, and I stop to pine for what was and what may never be. This moment is what is truly mine. In the center of a jostling crowd, amidst the clamor and chanting loud, I hear a silence that seems to speak of noble truths and wisdom sound. I enter shackled, come out free. Cares tumble out, desires flee. I stand in peace, detached a while from worldly woes that bridle me. So much is left behind of me when I enter this house of thee. Anger, pain, grief, and hope. Every emotion at your feet I sieve. So many footprints do I see that came here decades before me, each with a plea to call his own, never in doubt of meeting thee. I do not know what he asks for here, or why she silently sheds that tear. I cannot fathom in this sacred light the million prayers whispered every year. A vastness of space I can see, stretching its arms to eternity. In the holy air there abound echoes of a devotional odyssey. A rare hubris is what I feel as I hear this fervent peal, ancient walls that still resound with vespers from the past as I kneel. Myriad offerings devotees bring, fresh flowers, milk, a wedding ring. Others offer unshakable faith, a gift of sweet surrendering. And one comes with doubts astir, a heavy heart, dreams asunder. On these revered steps he leaves behind a heap of desires that grows taller. Another walked in by default, pushed by the mob he couldn't halt. Outside the temple's ornate gate, bewildered by some fancy court. That old man who comes here every day with unsteady gait but heart to pray, what does he ask in this house of God, knowing he may never again pass this way? A place to remember those who've left us behind, alone, bereft. Seeking, longing, at last we find their sweet presence here, so benign. And many cry as prayers begin, remembering well their kith and kin miles away from a loving hearth, alone like Ruth, just wandering. Silently they come, softly they go. Like rustling leaves on the courtyard floor, devotees that form a brotherhood of man, invoking earnestly like ancestors before. There is just one God that I know, who gives me blessings manifold. Some call him Allah, others Christ. For me, Krishna at every hallowed door. A mosque here, a monastery there, a synagogue for all to stare. The church's spire rises high, just different names in religion fair. How does it matter where I go? to mosque, to church, to temple door, an overpowering force beckons me beyond all names to take recourse. No censure here, no overt praise. What I imbibe is kindly grace. In noble, silent pose, you stare at me, unbiased, by my sins unfazed. Time stands still as I gaze upon a deity that seems ablaze with beauty, color, peace, and truth. Omniscient blessings leave me amazed. The temple wears a festive air, virgin bride, resplendent and fair, lights and drums and songs of love. But for some, this altar always bare. In the cathedral, a century old, so many celebrations within its fold, feast days, christenings, a wedding mass, sometimes a coffin on the wooden floor. Amidst the chaos, the senseless strife in the vortex of a dark, stormy night, below the people in its kindly shade, there flickers the calm of a holy light. Oh, to get away from it all, life's vagaries, its fathomless falls. Why live like pawns in destiny's fold, solemn answers scripted on sacred walls? The little temple that we build at home, with us from place to place does roam. A lone picture of a God we love, prized possession, sans the dome. Tireless, the pilgrim marches on. Mecca, Tirupati, Jerusalem at dawn, arduous journey that seldom ends in corporeal quest with labor won. In the sweet choir of voices free, I hear an anthem, a harmony, salutations to a God supreme, a grateful prayer, the strongest plea. An edifice that withstands the rain remains constant through seasons' change. 1,000 entreaties murmured in its fold silently bear witness to joy and pain. In this blessed place, I begin to find vestiges of holiness in my mind. Unsullied thoughts, a heart so clear I find myself truly defined. Fearless, calm, all passion spent, unfettered from human bondage, I relent to the imperishable that silently pervades this sacrosanct space of enlightenment. This fountain of spring sets me free, beyond self-will and misery, beyond the transience that leads to sorrow. I find a path of tranquility. Many come here, alone, in scores, separate beings bringing faith in tow. An indivisible unity of life it is that binds all creatures, man and more. Where empty houses cease to breathe, no one walks those forlorn streets. When nothing remains as was before, you are still there in the blessed seat. The idols on a checkered floor gilding our moves from door to door, until at last we pause to rest, nothing to pray for anymore. Where is the temple that I hear? Bells so loud, now near, so clear. I look, I search, but cannot see. Have I imagined it? I fear. The incessant peals do not cease. Where is the temple? Its many priests. Where is the God, once so near, who gave my life so long a lease? I look around me, outside of me, then into my heart cautiously. Like a blinding flash of light, the truth at last. The temple was always here, within me.
This is a fascinating collection, full of spirituality, full of messages, full of love, and full of compassion. She rises above one religion and she looks at humanity in a different way. And really, Sanjula ji, we are proud of you for writing this wonderful small volume, but it will make a mark in the literature, Indian English literature. Thank you very much.
Thank you.